after homemade healing by lyrical faith. When you find yourself crying into the dinner that you're preparing for your family, it's okay. Just add a little less Lorries. They'll never know the difference between seasoning and a heart that's bleeding. Feed them. Make sure to dry your eyes while they are eating so they never have to witness you being human. If you keep on trying to hide your face to conceal your mistakes, they're going to leak out when you ain't looking. I lost my mother while she was cooking. I was too young to recognize the signs at the time, but I remember when the food started tasting different. Tucked into the meatloaf was her seemingly sudden and subtle decision to give in the potatoes. Tasted of regret in the life she was living, I often wonder if it was caused by the disappointment in her 5 children or in the poor choice of a husband she claimed she married just to prove she could get him. Did she feel herself fading? Or did she get up one day and it hit her in the chest in the middle of making breakfast? Did she know that she wouldn't make it to dinner? How many other black women have lost their lives in the kitchen? How many keep cooking meals that once consumed result in the entire family's ending? When my grandmother stopped being able to cook, she found different ways to nourish her grandbabies. She started whipping up love in the forms of wisdom, guidance, grace, and increased patience. Nana's hands were as firm as her faith, and I wonder if her God brought her back from the grave just for my sake, because though it was her love that shaped me, it was also evident that she once sauteed devastation into the meal she fed my mother. Cycled through the generations of our bloodline is feeding your kids the struggle. When I find myself worried about what I will one day feed my future children, I remember that I know how it feels to go hungry, to fill up on trash in an attempt to outrun it. I remember that full bellies in my household often came with the side of heartache. When the hands that prepare the food that is supposed to nourish you are broken and bruised, it's crucial that you watch what you're eating. I watched my mother continue to cook meals with no means until her children were forced to cough up her demons, and she would tell you she didn't mean it. She would say that she tried her best and she couldn't help it, and as much as I'd want to disagree, I admit that I'm still wrestling with the question of what choice did she have? If she wasn't singing to everybody else's tune, did anyone ever stop to honor the voice that she had? Who else is she other than a horrible mother? What did she consume that took everything from her? We can't heal what we refuse to admit is real. We just continue the cycle. I love you, Mom, but there was never a point in my life that I ever wanted to be like you, despite how my weaknesses have always resembled you better than I do. When you are the product of an eggshell foundation, and your parents only intend to pass down the past due mortgage to their house of cards when they leave you behind, you're gonna feed your kids the only thing they got to keep them alive, even if it's nothing. You will learn to make them believe that they're being nourished. They will learn to trust it. They will learn that this is what love is, and they gonna eat it